Seiko just dropped a brand new collab with Pepsi, and it might be one of the most important watch collabs for Seiko in decades. For years, people have been referring to the SKX009 as the Pepsi, but for the first time ever, Seiko and Pepsi actually made it happen, and I'm so excited to unbox this watch with you today. There's so many brands that have collectors and fans issue their own nicknames. Rolex is a really great example. Seiko has so many of their own, but this is the first time that I think fans have really created such a hype and made so much noise around a nickname given to a watch that it actually caused for the true collaboration between these two brands to happen. I mean, who would have thought? You've got Pepsi and you have Seiko, a watch company and a pop company coming together and making something happen. Let's take a look and see exactly what they did to hype up this newest release. This is probably going to be one of my favorite unboxing videos I ever do. Regardless of this being the first true unboxing video of the channel, this one's going to be cool. Let's start with the packaging. I mean, they actually put this Seiko in a Pepsi can. I wanted to show you how it really fit into the model, but take a look at these two side by side. You've got the true can of Pepsi right here. One second. The Pepsi Max can, zero sugar. And then you have the actual Seiko watch that was wrapped and boxed in a Seiko and Pepsi collab can. And inside, you can unveil the coolest, newest Seiko watch on the market today. As we get into this watch, I want to talk about some of the specs that are given to this watch. And just like many people who buy watches, myself included, you can't always rely on specs to give you an understanding of if you're going to like the watch, how it's going to fit on your wrist, and what you're going to feel. So let's run through it together. In the back of the can, they actually showcase, instead of the nutrition facts, they showcase the specs of the watch. You're going to see a close-up of this right in a second. What I love about the can is not just showing the actual Pepsi container itself, but they went as far as the details in what should be the nutrition facts on the back of it. But instead of the nutrition facts, they actually show the specifications of this Seiko 5 GMT watch. It's really cool. So as you can see here, they have the caliber number 4R34, which is their GMT movement that they're using in this watch. It's an automatic movement, but has manual winding capabilities. The power reserve is 41 hours. It uses 24 joules and has day and date display. The case is made of stainless steel and the lug to lug on this is 46 millimeters. The diameter is 42.5, but with that lug to lug, even though this is a larger watch, I really believe this will fit really well on a 6 to a 7.5 inch wrist. The thickness is 13.6 millimeters and the crystal is hardlex. It also, I think, has something that's a little bit of a flaw here. You can see that it says the band material is stainless steel, but as we get into the watch, you're going to see that it actually is rubber. I assume that they just used the same packaging for both releases, and the GMT only came on a silicone rubber strap. So kind of interesting to take note of that. The water resistance is 100 meters and it has a screwed case back. So unlike the actual Pepsi Max cans that open, this one doesn't allow you to do anything here, but it does allow you to screw off the top and reveal the really cool Seiko 5 GMT. Look at that watch. Let's take it out together. It's really well packaged. You can see it has all of the stickers on it. SSK047K1 with the caliber movement 4R34. As I'd mentioned, it comes on that silicone rubber strap, but what I love about this collab, the first thing I noticed, it shows Pepsi. So a super cool and unique way of not only talking about the brand they're collaborating with, but incorporating it into the actual design of this watch. You may or may not know that this watch is a limited release and it comes in 7,000 pieces. I was lucky enough to get 4428 of the 7,000 allocations. If that number means anything to you, let me know in the comments below. This bezel, the blue and red, actually appear to be the exact same color as the Pepsi. And I mean, I know that this makes sense because it's the collaboration, but if you look back on the old vintage SKX009s, they definitely had more of a, even after or before fading, more of a brightened tone to them, but people still refer to them as Pepsi. My wrist measures at just over 7 inches, and as I'd mentioned, I really believe that this watch would look fantastic on anyone who has a wrist of even 6 to 7.5 inches. If you look closely at the indices, they have like a really nice blue to them, and I love how they've incorporated Pepsi on the dial. It just looks fun. It wouldn't be a Seiko if you couldn't enjoy the bloom that Seiko brings to you, and this Seiko 5 Pepsi Collab definitely does not disappoint. Now that you've got a chance to actually look at it up close, see some of the features, hear some of the specifications, I'll break down what I love and don't love about this Seiko 5 collab with Pepsi. One disclaimer, I am a huge fan of Seiko. I've been purchasing them for more than a decade now, and it was one of the first entry-level watches that I added to my collections. But I am definitely not biased towards them by any means, meaning I did purchase this with my own money, and if I don't like something, I'll tell you about it. So here's what I love about the watch. One, it takes the history of everyone calling the Seiko Pepsi into account and actually turning it into a real life thing. That's something that you don't see happening from a lot of brands, and when the culture behind that nickname, the culture behind the brand, and the culture behind the watch comes together, this is what you're going to get. And I think they did a fantastic job of nailing this watch down. The thing that I love most about this is the fact that it's the GMT on the silicone strap really brought me into it. I like that it's a darker version of the Pepsi. The other release that they have that you'll see is the stainless steel one. Nothing wrong with it, but it's cool that this one comes with an added complication, meaning it has the GMT functionality. I like that it actually comes on a silicone rubber strap because typically if I'm wearing a Seiko 5 where it's like a summertime watch, I don't want to have to size their bracelets. I'm not a fan of the entry-level Seiko 5 bracelets, but I am a fan of how this rubber feels on my wrist. One thing that I'm not a fan of is the fact that the bezel has zero click to it. So it's so smooth, and I know a lot of people will like that, but myself personally, if I'm having a bezel that can turn, whether it's unidirectional, bidirectional, I like for the bezel to feel like something when I'm moving it left to right, right to left, etc. So that is something that I'm not a big fan of, but I'm sure I can get over it fast. The cost of this watch was $550 US. For you Canadians out there, because I'm Canadian, it came to $812 with tax. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of the pricing on this watch. Seiko 5s are known to be more entry-level pieces, and I think because of the brand royalties that they're going to have to pay to Pepsi for making this happen is the reason you saw such a marked up price. That's not to say that I think it's horrible, but I think that if you're trying to cater to some of your fans who love your entry-level pieces, you're pricing them out a little bit. Now, is it worth the $800? I'd be hard done by to say that there's a lot of other GMTs out there that are as cool as this watch today, but are there a lot of other GMTs out there that have more functionality, have better bracelets, feel better on the wrist? I'm sure there are, and I can name a few, but that's not for this video. My question to you is, with this limited release of 7,000 pieces, is this something that you would put on your wrist? Myself, I'm going to enjoy it. Is it going to be a forever piece in my collection? Probably not, but I think that's the fun part of being a watch collector. You're not going to be able to keep everything. If you were, it wouldn't really be called collecting, it would be called hoarding. And I think that I'm thankful that I'm not a watch hoarder, I'm a watch collector. If you like watch content, or maybe you like learning a little bit about Pepsi, I'm just kidding. But if you like watch content, learning about watches, the histories behind the brands, and being able to see some really cool unboxing or reviews on some pieces upcoming, give me a follow at Broadcasting Watches. I'm going to be posting new content on my YouTube channel, as well as my TikTok and Instagram, and I'd love for you to follow me. The links will be posted below in the description, and if you have any questions or comments, please engage on this video. I'm happy to respond. I love interacting with people who love watches as much as I do.